Let's hand it over to Awake Souls. Jason, how's it going, man?
Yeah, that was awesome, brother. That was awesome. You can play the guitar and you can sing.
Oh no, come on! I just love music or whatever.
Come on, there's I know enough about myself to say that nobody wants to hear me sing. You can sing. I'll listen to you sing. That sounded great.
Thanks so much, man. I took the guitar out a couple of days ago, and it's something that I feel is another one of those morphic resonance type actions. You know, when you send out good vibrations and love, and everyone worldwide, everything worldwide is affected by it. You know, good or bad.
There's an energy to it, and it resonates. And it goes a whole lot farther than what we're typically taught, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's heaven and earth wide and high, kind of, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is stuff that, as we dig deeper and deeper, questions come up, and we don't necessarily have the answers to them. But you know, you ponder them and you contemplate what you think might be the answer, and it's fun. We're working on learning the truth, right?
Yeah, one line upon line, precept upon precept. It's
absolutely.
You're looking sharp, I have to say. Clean, like your uncle in the deep military state style.
Yeah, I just got enlisted today. Got my tattoo right here, and we're gonna go off and kill some people.
In a simulation, though, you mean, right? Like,
yeah, that was a joke. But yeah, we've been talking about war being a hoax, and hasn't been a whole lot of pushback, but there has been a couple good responses. I've got an email going back and forth with somebody that was military, and sounds very honest, very legit, and looking forward to talking to him more. So my big question with war being a hoax is, to what point? You know, at what point have people been slaughtered? How many people have been slaughtered? How many people have been killed? How much of it's been a hoax? How much of the military knows that things are fake? That, you know, the things that were being shown as far as the weapons and their capabilities. You know, how many people know, you know, that nukes are a fake, and that the guided missiles and torpedoes and all that kind of stuff, that those are hoaxes? How many people are in on that? So it sounds, from talking to this individual, that there is a group of people that have been in the military that they're not in on that. And that makes sense. And I sort of assumed that from the get-go, that they had some people in there that they just kept compartmentalized and protected from it. And those people would end up acting as witnesses. They would talk to other people that knew that it was a hoax. Those people would spread lies. And because there was trust between the two, that would get spread out into the population through people that will, you know, put their oath, their testimony. Yeah, I saw this, I witnessed this, but not knowing the full truth. So I do want to continue to reach out to people that have been in the armed services and hear their testimony. You know, if they want to come on and say that they've killed people, be happy to listen to that. If they've never seen anybody killed, but they've heard it from like uncle type testimony, that, yeah, my uncle said this happened, you know, we'll hear it, but then you look at it with a grain of salt, and or maybe there's just some people that are ex-military that are now looking at it with new eyes. They're looking back and going, well, yeah, I can see how they played me, just like when I went to school and they showed me the globe. Um, we all fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's not something to be ashamed of because you had no reason to doubt it going into it. But we're in a new age right now where um, the truth is coming out. I mean, you can see that within flat Earth. You can see it within the maps that we're looking at right now, showing that the models that are being promoted by certain portions of the flat Earth community, that we know that those don't work. The truth is coming out on a whole bunch of things across the board really fast right now. So, I mean, if you liken this to a roller coaster, we are just screaming down the track right now. It's nuts because how many topics have we been talking about that we probably didn't even consider a year ago, right? Mm-hmm. The pyramids, right? You came out with that. Mm-hmm. This war is a hoax thing, Mandela, that's all within the last year. Do you think of anything else that
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, for me, the reflections that I wanted to go through a little bit tonight were when, let me see here, when Event Skeptic, when I put out a video called Clouds Behind the Sun and the Moon. Mm-hmm. I think maybe QNF had one video up and maybe one other flat earther, but I'm pretty sure it was me and Q. And I just like to say that it's so uplifting when I see people like Flat Earth Photography and others enslaved by media. They are doing an excellent job reporting, recording, and disseminating the truth that you can clearly see with your naked eye. Clouds in front of and behind the sun and the moon.
Enslaved by Media has just been knocking it out of the park. He's put out some videos where, from what I understand, this guy builds pools. So, I mean, you and I are a couple of carpenters, and it sounds to me like he's sort of a carpenter.
Sure. Yeah, you have to be a foreman guy with wood, right?
Yeah, he's a builder. He builds stuff. We build stuff. We're builders.
Yeah.
And in these videos, I mean, his editing, his music selections, the content that he's putting into it, and the fact that he's out there doing the research. And the research is you set up the camera and you hit record, and then you search through the footage and you look at it, and the stuff that you find that you see as a proof, you grab that footage and you stick it into an editing program and you trim it up, and then you render that, and then you upload it to YouTube. And it's a process. You do it. I'm doing it. They're doing it. And some people do it better than other. Some videos, you look at them and you're like, yeah, that was a little hard to get through, but some are fantastic. And Enslaved by Media, Flat Earth Photography, they're making fun to watch videos with high quality content. And, they throw in great commentary. I'm stoked right now. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. Because I think it's only going to grow from here. I think the stuff that they're sharing, I think the stuff that you and I are sharing, I think it's all truth. And so the one thing you can't do with the truth is ever prove it wrong.
Yeah, totally.
So it's going to stick around. It's going to last. And so I see a movement, growth. I see I see the lies being broken down, and the people that are promoting false models and stuff like that, I see them just being passed by the wayside. Like, see you later. If you're gonna hang on to that, whatever, we sort of figured that one out a long time ago, but okay, see ya.
Yeah, it's clear, right? And you got one thing that I've always really tried to stay true to was, if we can't observe it, yeah, there's no point in trying to sell it, because that's what the curvature that we've been sold was, right? It was an Einsteinian cannonball thought experiment, literally. And I've seen cannonballs fired up in the air on YouTube and VidMe videos that landed on or inside the cannon. I'll try and put the link below.
I want to see that. I want to see a cannonball go up and land back in the can. I want to do it, actually. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, do a search for it right now if you want. Or what is it that you
can? No, I don't know if anybody can hear anything in the background right now. I just wanted to say a few quick words about my situation right now, if that's all right.
Yeah, give her, brother, please.
All right. So if any of you have caught this, I put out a video, Satanic Shield 2017, a couple days ago, and it's a parody. Is meant to be funny, and hopefully everybody got it. But what I was doing is talking about the new channels that I was doing. I made a video blog channel that I named with my name, Jason Laufenberg, and made another one, The Truth About Everything. It's all explained in that video, the Satanic Shield. So I'm video blogging, and it's not going to take long for people to understand my personal situation. So right now, this is not my house that I'm in. I'm doing a room share work exchange situation right now. I've got a great roommate, and I'm gonna remodel a bunch of stuff on his house and work around the property and stuff like that. I have another place that's out on the river that I own, but there was a tenant in there, and they have to have time to move out, and there's all this stuff going on. So I'm going to be bouncing around from location to location right now. I don't necessarily know where I'm going to be. But it's a great setup right now. It's fantastic. I'm going through a divorce. That's the reason why I'm moving around right now. And so people are going to hear about it. And that's one of the things that I'm doing on that video blog, Jason Laufenberg, that I started, is I think this might actually be the first video blog, flat earth divorce in 360 degrees, 4K, 3D. So I'm going to do some ridiculous things. I'm going to put a camera on top of my head, and I'm going to hang out by the river, and I'm going to walk around, and I'm going to talk about the things that are on my mind. All the things that have led me to where I'm at right now. I'm going to talk about my relationships with my parents, my brother, my wife's soon-to-be ex-wife, and I'm going to hang it all out there. I really have nothing to hide. All the negative things in my life that people might be able to dig up and put some dirt on me, I'm happy to talk about them with everyone, because I've learned from those experiences, and I'd be happy to share that testimony with people. So I just wanted to say, if you hear strange music in the background and whatever, I'm going to be bouncing around from place to place until I get resettled again. I'm agile. I can move around just fine. So, oh, you're bringing up the video? If you want, we can check out that video now.
Yeah, sorry, I had to go back off screen. Yeah, can I screen share it?
That'd be perfect.
Okay, I'll reload it. I guess it was coming through clear. Let's see here, 1 second. And by the way, brother, I'm here if you need anything support wise, mentally, spiritually, and you have my prayers. I don't hope, I expect and know that everything's moving in the right direction with you, because I can't even tell you, ladies and gentlemen, everyone at home, Jason is one of the most humble geniuses. I don't use that word too often, and I'm not trying to have flattering tongue here. When it comes to like titles, ideas, thoughts, creative processes, Blender, SketchUp, brother, it's like every time you're at the plate, every ball, you just knock it out of the park, man. I can't wait for this vlogging channel. It's going to be awesome. All the links will be below. And what you do is you give me that inspiration and that brotherly chance to just do the funny dance beside you, and it's so contagious. It's thanks,
But
man.
here's the thing: you're gonna see that you're saying you'll do the funny dance alongside me until you like totally get and understand the potentials that you can tap when you understand that this is a simulation, and not just ponder the idea, but just know it and start really playing around, coming up with creative ideas how to maximize it. And I know that there's going to be moments of inspiration that you have, that you're going to be doing stuff and I'm going to be like, how did he do that? Explain it, please.
What is that? Yeah. I know sometimes I do a few things that are odd, but I really do honestly, like, I am so looking forward to the rest of the summer of 2017. I'm turning 37. I'm starting a vlog channel. I'd be on camera right now, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't quite have my situation. I've had my car engine melt while I was dry. I fast and fierced it, Skeptic style. I drove forward, though, for the Fast and the Furious fans. I didn't reverse race anybody, but I did drive with an engine on fire and made it safe. So I'm like 400 kilometers north of Toronto, but so yeah, I'd like to get into this vlog video that you've produced, because it's unbelievable, man. And then we'll take it from there. This is going to be an exciting night. And yeah, like I said, if anyone else, wants to give Jay a little love or give him some support, make sure you check out his channels and, give him some communionship, because without you, brother, it's not worth it.
Well, I'm super happy already. I mean, the last time I looked, I put out, a video last night on the new channel, and I think I'm up to 42 subscribers already. And it just started. And to me, that's fantastic. And I don't know if YouTube's, messing with the numbers, whatever, and holding it back. But even at 42, to think that there'd be like that many people that would be following the videos that I'm making, they would hit subscribe to a channel that was brand new, that, was untested. I'm super stoked about it. And I think it's going to be fun. So this vlogging style, and I know you've made video already, and you're going to be doing it too. I see it as a way of getting really personal with people. And I'm going to be telling people the most intimate things about my life I possibly can, because I've got nothing to lose. You are the only relationship that I have with a person in this world. And when I say relationship, there's nothing sexual. I mean, a person that I communicate with on a regular basis, because, my parents are out, my brother's out, my wife, ex-wife, she's out, and they were the only four that I had left. So, I'm really like completely unrestrained, and I'm not ashamed of anything, because I believe in Yahawashi, and I know that he died for our sins. So they've been covered already. Okay, so we've been forgiven for our sins as long as we proclaim our desire to want to be followers of him. So I do. And so I don't feel shame at all. I do sin, but of course I pray and I try to correct my ways so that I don't fall into that again, because I learn from my ways. I'm not one of those mice that will just sit on the hamster wheel and run himself to death.
Yeah.
I had one of those, and he was stupid.
Yeah. You know, I will do that for Yahawashi. So yeah. Should I put the
You want to put the video? You want to play some music too, because I can't get enough of that. Just so everybody knows, before we went live, you know, he was strumming around, and I'm like, you know what? Let's sort of forget the show and just have you play the guitar tonight. Yeah, because that would be great. I would be okay with that.
That was, excuse me, you caught me off guard, because for the first 10 years I played music, people were running from me, right? So, and you know, the singing thing, that to me is really hard. Like, as a keyboardist, I know you could, if I tell you hit me a G, or even if you don't know the notes, you still know where it sounds to push. With the voice, you have to use the spirit. You can't hit a button to make the note.
Well, I know that there's a lot of people that play instruments and make music that totally abstain from singing. It's difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah, I can't. I like to drum, but I figure, I bet you it's probably harder. I still think singing is the word, like the hard. And for me, it's just purely. I've always done it for Yahawashi, for sure. There's without a doubt. But that's enough about me. I was just gonna do like a in between a segue. I was just gonna play a few bars as we put on the.
Let's do a middle set.
For okay, I'll make sure. Am I presenting to everyone? I don't know if everyone can see.
Yeah, it looks like Beyond Flat Earth is presented.
Yeah, you can see. Okay, no, you can see your video.
No, it was Beyond Flat Earth.
Okay, one sec. Thank you. There we go. Present to everyone. Now you can see it, right?
Well, now the video came up, but there's a big lag.
Oh, it's paused.
Okay.
1 second here. Okay, I'm going to play a song, and then I'm going to hit play on that. And everybody sit tight. 1 sec. Okay, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay, just hit mute, and I'll take it over.
It's on the river. It's about 4 acres.
Sorry, everyone.
So here we are at a property that I own. It's on the river. It's about 4 acres. I'm going to be moving back here soon. My house is not too far from here. Maybe like a 1.5 miles, 2 miles, something like that. But I'm going through a divorce. And we've got to separate, and well, I'm moving out of that house, and I'm going to be moving over here. So this is where I'm going to be recording, talking to you, doing a video blog about the things going on in my life. So
Why would you listen to me? Well, I think I've got the truth, or at least a pretty good chunk of it. I know the Earth is flat. I know that the popular flat Earth model doesn't work. And there is evidence that we are in a simulation, and I can point that evidence out to you. So, I'm going to take out the kayak. We'll see you out on the water in just a little bit. So, here's the property. Got the shoreline here. Shoreline over there, that's an island. We'll go out there and check that out a bunch. Got sort of quick water moving through here. It makes a little bit of a bubbling noise here. The house is back up that hill. I'll be doing some camping down here as well. That's the island. Yeah, I'm gonna video blog. I'm going to tell you what's going on in my head, sort of live, pretty close to live. Sometimes we'll do it live, right? Let me tell you a little bit about the things that I'm going to be covering. So the vlog's going to get personal. I'm going to tell you about my personal life, the people in my life, and there's not many. You're going to see just how few there really is. There were 4 people. It was my mother, my father, my brother, and my wife. And so I am a flat earther. I'm a strong Christian. People, you can look and see what it is I believe on my Awake Souls channel. And it's all right out there. And I've tried to talk to these people about it. And they won't listen. They simply won't listen. And so I push harder and harder, and it creates conflict. And so my brother doesn't talk to me anymore. He doesn't want to talk about anything that has to do with conspiracies. And what he means by conspiracies is anything having to do with trying to find the truth. My parents, I do not talk to anymore. That's something I'll be covering. And my wife, I'm divorcing. So there's a lot of conflict that comes up because I am a strong Christian, and there is, many scriptures to be considered on the topic of divorce. But it's a unique situation. It's something I'm going to be vlogging about. So this is actually going to be, and probably the first flat Earth divorce that's vlogged on YouTube. I'm going to document it all. So I'm going to be talking about the relationship that I had with my wife, the reason why it fell apart, the reason why we're getting a divorce. I'm going to talk about the same thing that happened with my parents and my brother, and why I don't have any other people in the world except for one person, Ronnie of Skeptic. He's a true friend. He's a brother. He's a brother in Yahawashai. And Yahawashai is the proper name for what many refer to as Jesus. So I'm going to be covering all the things that I've studied, I've learned, that I know to be true. I want people to, if they differ in opinion on me, I want to talk about it, because what I want to come to is the most accurate understanding of the truth possible. So you check this out here. There's a whole bunch of islands. That's an island. There's an island. Here's an island. I'm going to be checking these all out. So here I am out on one of the islands. It's my favorite one. I started coming out here last summer. I was looking for space to get away from my now soon to be ex-wife. And I found this island out in the river. And it's got this. This is the center of the island. And it was all super bumpy. Because when the river floods, this island goes underwater. And it was all rutted up. And I brought a wheelbarrow out here, a shovel, and a rake. And I started leveling out all the dunes. And it's a lot better than it was. A lot better. But this island did go underwater at least 10 feet not that long ago. So it happens. And it changes every time, but it's a whole lot more level than it was. So I'm going to be camping out here a whole bunch. This is my new place to live. And I'm stoked about it. See the bluebonnets? Texas bluebonnets, wildflowers. To me, this is paradise. It was an old beat up wheelbarrow that I brought out here, and it got cracked up in the flood. It broke. Needs a new tub on it. And here's a chair. And here's a little fire ring. And here's the river. That's another island over there. Look at these trees out in the river. I absolutely love that. Sandy beach around the corner. So this is going to be a video blog that I try to keep up with, like daily or every other day, something like that. And it's going to be my personal thoughts on stuff. It's not going to be the video presentations like I've been doing on Awake Souls. It's going to be like this. And I do have plans to get a 360 camera that's actually 3D. So I tried out the Nikon 360, and I was warned by the salespeople that it was super glitchy, and they were right. I had to return it. I could not get a single video to upload to YouTube that was usable, and so I returned that. So there's a new camera out that's 360 3D with like full surround sound audio. So I'm going to put the camera up on top of my head, and I'm going to hang out by the river. I'm just going to do whatever I'm doing, and I'm going to bring across the thoughts that I have, the way I see the world. And if it interests you, please subscribe. I look forward to doing this because I hope to get to know a bunch of you a whole lot better.
Amazing. I loved it. I think, Jason, from top to bottom, I just think it's you've done an excellent job in every way, brother. I love it.
I'm hoping that it's the most efficient way I can possibly get as much content out to people that are interested in it as possible. And it's going to be the most real. And what I'm trying to do is make the presentation as enjoyable and as fun as possible. So the idea is put the camera up on like a bicycle helmet, whatever. People are gonna, if people see me, they're gonna think I'm a dork, but who cares? I don't even know who they are.
They already say that either way. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. Like, make fun of me and see if that matters. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. Like, I want to do things like mountain bike rides and hiking awesome trails and going through all the creeks and canyons and camping out on those islands and kayaking all over the place. And I want to build trails through the wilderness and yeah, like a kid again, camping kid, and talk about the things going through my head. And if people are interested and it's benefiting them, I'll be super stoked. I've done a lot of research. I've studied the non-duality and the Enlightenment, and I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so I did learn the Bible very, very well. Of course, I realized that their translation that they use is corrupt, and I realize that, and that totally goes into my whole thought process. But yeah, I want to take you for a ride along in my life, and I want you to, if you know places where I'm wrong on the things that I'm talking about, I would like it if you would bring it up. You know, we'll address it, we'll look at it together, and we'll come to a conclusion what the accurate truth is. And so together with everybody out there that listens, that comments, that's involved, we're going to come to the most accurate version of the truth we possibly can. And I know you're going to do it too. And I recommend it to everybody out there. In fact, I want to bring up something. I started making a Patreon account, which is a place where people can do donations. And I haven't finished it yet. So I never monetize my channel, and I know yours is. I mean, you don't make anything off of it. You're not living off of your channel, but you put incredible amounts of work into it. You know, probably 50, 60 hours a week minimum you put into your, working on your channel. And that's a lot. You're giving all of your personal time to it. And I am too, because neither one of us are doing this to get ahead in this world. I don't want a big house. They're going to tax you on it, and then I'm going to have to go pay those taxes. Like,
yeah, it's the complete opposite, right?
Yeah, I want a simple place out in the country. I would love it to be. I don't want to have to pay anybody for anything anymore, but I love to work. All right, so I want to build stuff, but I want to live simple, and I want to live pure and clean. Like, being a farmer out in the country, having the food, and not having to be a cog in the wheel of satanic system. That to me is the most enjoyable life I can imagine out of Satan's world right now. So
yeah,
the Patreon account is something that I want to recommend to everybody out there. Not to just me. I recommend it to you, okay? But I recommend it to everybody out there, because I think this is a great way. So even if you want to use it the improper way, it's still going to correct you in ways. So if you're a content creator, let's say you're not even a content creator. Let's say you're just a person watching videos that doesn't make videos, that doesn't have any content on their YouTube channel. I still recommend you go create a Patreon account right now if you're looking for the truth. And then put that up on your channel, and every time you log into YouTube and you log into your Patreon account and you see that nobody's donated to you, let it be a reminder to you that you haven't done anything that people think is worth anything. Okay? But go out there and start making videos. And let's say you know the truth about something and you make a video and you put it out there, and this helps somebody, it benefits them, it brings relief to them, it takes away a pain, it brings happiness to them. Maybe you teach them about Christianity and you actually save their soul for their eternal life. You know, I mean, how much? But the thing is that the Patreon account, people are only going to give to you if you're doing something that's worthwhile. And I want to be worthwhile. I want to help people, but I'm not doing it for money. But the Patreon account, if somebody has something that they want to share, I don't even have it set up yet, but I think it's a good idea, and I think it's a good idea for everybody to do it, to motivate yourself to have some sort of a guide, something that you can, a measuring stick. If all of a sudden you get somebody gave you $5 in your Patreon account, you're like, I must have done something that was a benefit to somebody.
Yeah, totally.
And you and I have talked about this, and so I'm doing the vlogging, and I know you're going to be too, and people are going to see what's going on in our lives. They're going to see where we live. They're going to see the vehicles we drive. They're going to see the tools that we use. They're going to see basically everything about our lives. So I don't want the big house. I don't want the fancy car. If there's ever any extra that comes in from like Patreon or something like that, what I want to do is I want to do balloon launches, and I want to give you drone footage, and you name it. Like I'm an open book as far as if there's an experiment that you want to do, bring it to me. Let's figure out how to do it, because if we could go into the next video that I did, the first one that you played as far as what I'm doing was just sort of like an introduction. But the second one here is a message that I really want to get out to people, because I do think it is of immediate benefit. And
did you put the link?
Could we play that?
Did you put the link there? Yeah, of course we can play it.
Well, it's the second video, the one on the Jason Laufenberg channel.
Okay, I'll pull that up. I'll go back to where I was. Yeah, it's really great advice, totally, and yeah, I am doing it. I'll share a vlog live after. But okay, so
that'd be awesome.
We have Jason Laufenberg's Flat Earth Vlog for 2317, and then we have 5.2 Unlocking Your Potential with Simulation Realization. Okay, I'm going to share the screen, and I won't play the guitar.
I'm muting.
Okay, brother. Good job. 1 second, everyone. I'm me just make sure I have this presented. One sec. Yeah, we're just carpenters, right? We're not Google techs or anything special. We just do the best that we can. And this definitely is, simulation realization. And this is Jason Laufenberg.
So I took a little walk down by the river here, doing some thinking. This is where I like to come to think. Getting out in nature and getting away from people. It's good to clear your head, especially if you're chewing on big topics. I wanted to quickly address why I think it's important for you to really consider the possibility that this is in fact a simulation, because it can benefit you right now. Right now. So what do you have against checking it out? There's things that you can look at. So in flat Earth, if you look at the angles of the sunrise and sunset, and you look at the distance of what's going on as far as how far the sun is from you, by out towards the horizon where you see clouds behind the sun, it's very, very close. So that's not possible in the physical reality that we've been taught. So there's a snake. You see that? Get back, Satan. Yep, this is the river. I don't like snakes. I do not like them. The snake made me lose my train of thought, but yeah, back to the simulation. Give it a shot. Check it out. There's a lot of things that point to the fact that we're in a simulation. And then if you start addressing these and it keeps checking out for you, like it has for me, like it has for Ronnie of Event Skeptic, if it keeps checking out, what you start doing is you start making decisions with that in mind. And that's what I'm starting to do. I feel like I'm starting to grab the reins of this world and start making the future the reality that I'd like to see. If you realize that this is a simulation and you combine that together with how everything in the media is turning out to be a hoax. Wars are hoaxed, military weapons are hoaxed, celebrity death hoaxes. It's all being faked. It's all being fabricated. So when you think about this being a simulation and you see how propaganda works, it's totally shaping reality. You can do it too. You can shape reality too. You can create something in your mind. You can model it up. You can visualize it. And as long as in this creation process, you've created the means, the way that you would build it, if you do that process in your head, it can be built in this world. So think about it. Just choose, put me to the test, and you know what's going to happen is you're going to end up with some tangible thing that you just built. But think of something that you know there's the means to build it. All right? Design it up. Draw it down on a piece of paper. Use something like SketchUp 3D modeling. It's incredible. It's free. design something and then build it and start realizing the potential of what you have. Okay. It has to come with the thought of what you want to create first. Without that thought, nothing happens. So then once you have the thought of what it is that you want to create, you got to come up with a workable strategy of how this is possible. I mean, if you got to build tools to do it, you build tools to do it. Okay? But there has to be some sort of plausible way of making this thing work. Once you've designed it to that point, it can be built in this world. All you have to do is follow your model. Turn out exactly the way you designed it. So what you put into your modeling right now is really the most critical thing that you can be doing with your life. What is it you're doing with your modeling potential? What world are you building? Are you building a world within this satanic system that is all about materialism and things like that? Getting ahead, being a celebrity. Is that the world you're building towards? Or is it this? This is the world that I've been building towards, all right? And look at it. All right? You can build this world for yourself as well. I don't care if you're in the middle of, a big city, you've got some high-paying job somewhere, you can change your life. You can go to the country. You can be out here where you don't see another person. You don't see any other structures that are human-made. It's nothing but natural. You can do it. You're going to have to give up certain things in your life. But you get to have this. And which one brings you pleasure? I've done the material world. I've lived in big, expensive homes. This is what I finally realized. This is what I want. So, being in a simulation, knowing what you want, modeling it, and then getting off your butt and actually building it, you'll have the things that you want. All right? Try it. As long as you follow through on your intention, your plan of building it, you're going to have it. So, until next time.
Yeah, that was another great video.
Thanks, man.
Just wonderful, man. I can reflect to it so much.
I just want to say that once it really sinks in that you're in a simulation and you take it seriously and you start making decisions with that in mind, it changes your life. You can change the world around you. You really can. In fact, that property where I was standing there, okay, I made the property look like that. It didn't look like that. That was a swamp before. So
it's beautiful.
But you start with a vision in mind of what you want to see. And then as long as you design it in a way that is viable, okay, that there's the tools, that you have the resources, that you have the financials that are necessary to do it, as long as you have those things, once you've designed it and you have a strategy in place, you're going to have it as long as you follow through.
Yeah. Without a doubt. This is a huge, I think maybe next week, unless we have some guests lined up, I think we should do a whole week
dedicated to modeling reality, 101 with Jason Laufenberg. And also, please, everyone listening, everyone on StumbleUpon, on Reddit, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Google, all the Russian sites, everyone worldwide, please, we are asking for suggestions, experiments. Like I have a few that I would like to conduct, and we'd like to just continue to prove that we've found that hey, we do live in a simulation. I'd like to share a video. Go ahead.
Are you ready to play Flat Earth Photography's video?
I was going to start with a simulation video, but I'll start with that. You're right.
If people want proof that they're in a simulation, if they want something tangible that they can hold on to, this video is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to cue it up. Where I start halfway through.
What if you do it double speed from just after where he shows Venus?
Okay. That's sure. Venus is interesting how it has phases, right?
Yeah, it looked like a half moon, right?
Yeah, he's doing a really great job with everything that he's doing over there filming.
And his commentary is great. So we definitely got to send links to this video. People should watch it on his channel in regular speed with his commentary. His commentary is dead on.
Yeah, all the links will be below in a comment and the description. Always look in those areas because I enjoy leaving those links for people and having them do the research themselves. Right? That's what we hear.
And credit to content creators too. So he was out there, he was recording, he did the upload, he made the video. That is thumbs up. It takes work, it takes effort, and everybody that does that I appreciate so much.
Totally. I guess it's just about queued up. Can you see? Can everyone on the chat see? Shout out to the chat. What up? What up? Sorry about the creaking noises. Can you see?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. I'll go 1.5, and then you said just after Venus. That's a little bit too far. I guess right here, right? Can you hear it?
I did hear it.
Look at the illumination, guys. Like, seriously. Look, you could tell me this is millions of miles away, right? I'm sorry to repeat it again, but it's what it is, you know? You can't really say the sun is too bright because if I put any filter on it, you wouldn't see anything really.
So the question with this video is how far away, when he's standing on the beach, how far away can he see? And I asked him, and I've said before that this is all probably happening 10 miles or less. He said 15 miles or less, and I'm not going to quibble over 5 miles. It could probably be as little as 3. It all depends on the viewer's height, from the elevations that a person's at. But right now, at a long shot, we're looking at the sun rising and setting about 15 miles from you. That's what this video was showing.
Yeah. And I see your comment, and everyone live can as well. How far would you say those clouds that the sun went up through were away from you? Amazing footage, brother. Great videos. Thumbs up, double thumbs up. Beautiful question. He says 15 miles. I said 3 miles. And then he responded, the islands in the video
are, did he say 7 miles away? Yes, 7 miles.
Yeah.
Right. And then 7 miles. I agree. It seems the sun's location is relative to the observer. So I agree, like a rainbow. The sun has a fixed place in our simulation, but the closer you get to it, the further it retracts once you pass its horizon. And I think that there's been some great proofs lately with boats going beyond the circle of sight and disappearing from the bottom up, the same way that you would see the CN Tower of Toronto. The further you go, and I will be uploading videos on the subject over and over again, because the CN Tower is roughly 1,100 feet, its circle of sight spans out a further distance at that height than any other building. So as you recede, or as you move away from the CN Tower's center point, as you exceed the circle of sight, the building will disappear from the bottom up. And this is like a pure truth about this flat Earth simulation. It's undeniable. And the only reason I guessed 3 miles, Jason, I know you're going to know why.
Yeah.
I've read some experiments and tests that stated that, like, that's our vision. That's our vision limit.
Well, to the horizon, where the sky meets the ground, if you're on level ground, a person with eyes at 6 feet above the ground, I think it's 3.1 miles. So it's right in that range. And so one of the big tricks, so we thought that the sun was 93 million miles away.
Yeah.
And that it was, this incredible size and all this kind of stuff. We totally had everything way off base. And now that we're seeing the
truth
of
reality.
The truth of reality, the fact that the clouds that we're seeing at the horizon are probably just 3 miles away. Okay. And we see the sun come up and it goes through them. And then it makes an arcing path, and then it comes back down through the clouds and it sets into the ground. And that right there is the best observable evidence that you're going to get. You can do it yourself. In this footage here, you can hear him say, I can see this with my own eyes. He didn't need the camera. The camera is just a tool.
That would be a naked eye observation. And the other term that you're searching for that I love using is, this is unfalsifiable.
Yeah.
Anyone with eyes, barring the blind, even though the blind can probably hear the frequency, but anyone can do this. This is one of those tests, like putting a flat surface out, pouring water on it, and watching to see if that water rolls off with the spin of the Earth is another unfalsifiable experiment. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Is it falsifiable or unfalsifiable? Sorry.
I think it's unfalsifiable.
Okay. See, I'm just a carpenter, and
I could be wrong too, but I think it's that way.
So
you could see in that footage that there were clouds behind the sun. It just showed that. And then if you realize that those clouds, if you look out to the horizon and then imagine a plumb line going straight up into the clouds, that's the clouds that sun is going up through. And it's right there. And then if you look at the angles that it's coming up at, and then you start mapping that out across the map, you realize that doesn't work in the physical reality that we've been taught. It doesn't work.
Not at all. It does. It is a lot more understandable when you do a plane in the modeling program, and the same perspective that I just told everyone about, the circle of sight. So the higher and the larger your object is, the broader and further its circle of vision is, or its circle of visibility. So it's actually almost simple enough for a child to understand. If you look at the plane in the sky, it appears to do an arc. Its apex will be at your midday or your center 90 degrees straight up point, and then it will arc down to the horizon. And we know the plane is flying straight, right? So this is just another clear representation and proof that you live on a flat plane with the sun traveling across the sky. Now, we can get into SketchUp, which I'm really looking forward to, Jay. Look at that cloud behind. Look at that. Those are behind the sun, okay? And I don't care how many, what is his name? Dr. Debunk, absolute pieces of trash garbage that got posted on Godlike Productions. Okay, there is a thing called focal length. The birds that fly in front of the sun, you can still see, right? I need people to understand what I'm saying here.
As long as they're far enough away, because if they're super close to you and they fly in front of it, they might become obscured. But if they're a distance away and they fly in front of it, no problem. And that has to do with focal length.
Focal length. And you can take a piece of film, which is transparent, and easily everyone who has ever looked at a flashlight and put their hand in front of it can understand that principle. But to actually look with your naked eye, because this is what got me, Jay. This is why I posted that video, and many people, including your flat earth proponents, except for Mr. Thrive and Survive, called me a lunatic, because I looked at the moon with my naked eye and I saw the clouds clearly in front of and behind the moon. And then I started to look at the sun, and I actually filmed it. I filmed it a few times, and I know you have. We'll get into that after. Just amazing evidence. But if the sun was so bright that it made the clouds look like they were behind it and in front of it, this wouldn't be so static. It would be so invariable. There would be so many fluctuations. But we can clearly see in this image here on the screen that there are clouds being lit up here that are going behind this orb or light in the sky. You can see it interacting with it. You can see it waving and moving around. I can watch the sunset and the clouds get pulled to that same point in the sky. I want everyone else to have a look up in the sky. See, those birds didn't magically disappear like McFly's film debunking that debunked I know a 10-year-old that could debunk that. Look at that. You see the bird clearly, okay? So how are the clouds going behind the sun if the bird did not just fly behind the sun? It's so simple, Jay, and it's really frustrating.
It's all right. But what people really need to do is do it themselves, because I've done it myself. And then when I hear Flat Earth Photography, he's doing his commentary, he's filming the sunrise, and he's telling you right up front that he's not using any filters, because if you were to put a filter on right now, it would darken the image too much, and you wouldn't get to see the things that you're getting to see. It's not that bright, not when it's rising and when it's setting. So, and that is the time period that you see it rise up through the clouds and when you see it descend through the clouds. So
30 degrees, right? Would you say?
Maybe 20 degrees. It's usually about the first half an hour and the last half an hour of sun, after it rises and before it sets. And you can tell when you're filming it, when all of a sudden it gets into like a higher layer and all of a sudden it becomes too bright, and then you would want to put on, your polarization filter or a solar filter, because then you would also have the contrast that you need again to see the things around it. So no, it's not too bright in this footage, and it's not shining.
He might have had the EV down, but it's a really good example though.
I could sort of tell that he must have had, there's the auto exposure lock. I think it's called AE lock or something, that his background, the sky stayed dark as it was coming up, and the background became darker and darker. So I think he had his exposure locked on this footage. I do it both ways, but the thing is when you do it and you've seen it multiple ways, you understand it. You understand other people's footage better. And if you do it yourself, you are going to realize that you are seeing the sun both in front of and behind the clouds. And once you get that locked in up here, you better really seriously look into simulation realization, because how else do you explain that?
Well, and the other great proof here that we're not touching upon is if there was such spoke about Terminator or Terminator line, or the fact that the sun was the way that the light was actually being manufactured, this is completely destroyed with our own eyes looking at this film, because you can clearly see that it's like a glow.
Yeah, look at how small the illumination is around it. I mean, it brightens up the clouds around it, but I mean, that's not even brightening up like a half mile of clouds right there.
And it's supposed to, and the Earth is lit, like 14,000 miles around this glorious light. And, you know, it was my perspective, even though I disagree with his maps and have so much respect for him, because I do believe that original map is a stepping stone to the truth. He was showing how backlighting was used in photography, and how like canopies and umbrellas and other types of reflectors are used to create proper imaging. And this is another issue that I see with the sun and the moon, as well as lightning. Matrix Decode has a video where he's captured a lightning bolt that the entire sky is illuminated from one lightning bolt. And it's a clear simulation realization. There's no other way around it. If you wanted to keep going, I'd like to share a bit of George Smoot for the people at home. Okay, yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Is it still great? Oh, by the way, great job, Flat Earth Photography. There'll be like 3 links below in the comments. Let me just make sure.
I've asked him before if I can use his footage, and he said yes.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely deserves the subs. He's doing great work.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm really happy to see that. I was happy to see the Ephesians channel. He had a flat Earth definitive proof type video that it skyrocketed for him. I think he got it. I don't know if he got up into the hundreds of thousands. Did you see that?
I think he did.
That's awesome. Nothing could make me more happy than seeing the people that we've worked with or working around getting their voices heard, including Enslaved by Media, who does great work on many topics, and so many other channels. I could go on forever, but we are here, and that other channel that Jason has created, The Truth About Everything, is a 3-person. We'll get into that after. I just like to open the minds of my subscribers and anyone who's happened to stumble upon this video. George Smoot. So just before I preface this with, as a flat earther, I was taught and brought along with Jeranisms and Eric Dubé's and all the harsh criticism of scientists and scientism, that I glazed over some amazing simulation, flat Earth, universe Earth, flat proof. The cosmic microwave radiation pictures that they took.
Yeah, this is research that you've done that it's fantastic. So I look forward to you sharing it with people.
Okay, I guess I will. Well, it's basically a team used weather balloons and a giant nostril type telescope to map parts of the sky out and look at the temperature differences in the sky. So, and when they mapped it out, this is just a quick preface, George already knew the answer as soon as he saw it, because like me and Jason, George Smoot does things repeatedly and he watches the results to find the truth. That's how we do these things in the simulation. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I got the sound on. Okay, and I'm gonna present this. And yeah, I'm sorry I'm grandstanding a bit, but this is a really important video, and I'm gonna go with it.
The simulation. So,
you can hear it.
I'm really looking forward to it. So please tune in. But like I said, today's video is basically just a look at this whole black-bodied background microwave radiation discoveries, and basically the fact that we live in a simulation. So code is it's written everywhere, from your fingertips to your retina to a snowflake. You can read the code, right down to the DNA, RNA. Everything has a code and intelligence and a design. And whether you want to look at it from a biblical standpoint or from a scientific standpoint, we are going to come back to the same conclusions. So please, like I said again, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, on a new channel created by Awake Souls and Event Skeptic, Beyond Flat Earth. Please tune in and stay awake, stay aware, and stay focused. Peace.
And what it might mean. Lines, so that you actually think about this and what it might mean. So here's the first check about simulations. How many of you have ever played a computer game? Just raise your hands. All right. So did you do it against simulated player or simulated players? Or in fact, was it you, several people plus simulated people, right? And what role did you take? Was it a pawn or a hero? What role do you have in life? Is it pawn or hero, right? Or you the king, for example? Now, the other thing you might ask, if you were a social scientist or other kind of scientist like a cosmologist, would you like to run realistic simulations to test and develop your theories? Likewise for political candidates, right? So I'm just trying to see there's motivation for it. And then the question is, are computation and simulation capabilities increasing over time? So they had to think about Moore's law. Think about what computer you had when you were young and what you have when you're now. Not that you're not all young still. Okay, that's just setting you up for having the doubt. Okay, so we'll take a little journey into fallacy. Solipsism is the idea that one's own mind is the only thing that's sure to exist. It turns out people have been studying this for decades and realize it's both irrefutable and indefensible at the same time. How detailed and how accurate will the simulations be? And the answer turns out, as we know from experience, computation power is the first issue. You have to have tremendously good computation power to make a really good quality simulation. And good programming, that is good software to explain what's going on, that's the second. But clearly we're making progress. Just look at the games, the original, look at Pong, and look at the kind of video games we have now, right? And so we'll see, advanced, beings run simulations, right? And in fact, will simulated beings run simulations, right? If we're simulated, are we running simulations? In our simulations, it's simulations all the way down, if you know the things. So even the people running our simulation don't know if they're a simulation or not. Okay, so well, it's interesting because it creates ethics and a bunch of things because there might be somebody watching you, right? And so are ethical considerations likely to stop every single civilization from running simulations, right? And running large numbers of simulations? All right. Well, the answer I think is no. What if doing simulations is likely to save what we think are real lives? Right? We're willing to do the simulations, even though there are beings trapped in that simulation, conscious beings. And the other thing you might consider is how do human beings treat what they think are real human beings? How's the ethical treatment on our Earth? And how much more society like to advance before we're doing very advanced civilizations, very advanced simulations of civilizations and beings. The first map, which is off here, is the universal diffuse glow. It's just green, so I didn't show you that data, but I have some real data that shows that. And then if you go down a factor of 1,000, you see what we call the dipole. It's warm here by a little bit over a part in 1,000, and cold in this direction by a little over a part in 1,000, and very smoothly in between, except along here, which is the plane of our galaxy. You'll see it clearly down here.
So I just wanted to mention that George, has put these in the classical egg shape, but this data here itself is actually correctly referenced with a grid. So I just wanted to bring that up, and I'll keep going. We're almost there.
When we subtract that and go up another factor. And then we happen to live in a spiral arm, so if you look 90 degrees that way, you're looking down the spiral arm, so you see a bump. If you look 90 degrees the other way, you're also going down the spiral arm. So you see these two bumps, which are the spiral arm we're in. The galactic center is there. That's why this doesn't have a nice smooth thing. The galactic center is contributing. If you then subtract away the dipole and blow the scale up, another factor of 100, is the galaxy saturates along here, the galactic center, the spiral arm that we're in, the opposite anti-center direction. But then you see these blue regions together, red and yellow regions together, red and yellow regions together, blue regions together, blue regions together. Those are the things that we claimed are the signals from the beginning of the universe. And here is with all the known galactic contamination stuff, stamped out, and you can see the signal that's left behind. But if you're more adventuresome, you can make a plot in colors. So here's the dipole, and if it's stronger in the red, it shows up red. If it's right in the right CMB, it shows up in white. So you see hot to cold is supposed to be white to dark. You take away the dipole, blow the scale up, now you can still see the spiral arms, but you can begin to see the signal that's coming from the universe. And if you take a model of the galaxy out, you end up with a map that looks like that. Right? So, but modeling the galaxy was the tricky part. So we did with cuts and we did with subtractions, and got pretty similar answers, but we were being careful. Okay. And so not so long after that, we did 2 more experiments. These are balloon-borne experiments. They were maximum boomerang, and we had a big group, and then half of the group split off and went to Caltech, but we stayed collaborating. So now if I put my shadow here, maybe you guys can see there's an actual map there. The size of the moon is about this big. So this covers a reasonable part of the sky, but you're seeing very clear structures. And when I first saw this map, and we were having our team meeting, I said, the universe is flat. And Radek Stomper, who's some of you may know, he says, no, don't jump to conclusions. I said, I've already seen 500 simulations. I know which the flat universe looks like, and I'll show you some examples later. So I promised I would talk to you about, is the universe flat? And the answer is very simple. We look here with our eyes, and we judge how big things are by projecting back in straight lines. And if the universe is curved, the light will travel a curved path. Otherwise, we get this nice Euclidean geometry and an expanding universe, which is a little trickier. Or if it's open, you have the other thing. So I have this nice video. This tells you the same pattern on the sky does this, but here's a nice little video that WMAP paid for that does it. So we're out in the universe. We're going to put out our imaginary physics grid lines. There's the pattern.
Okay, I just want to slow this down for 1 second, give a little commentary. So this imaginary graph or grid line is what they're using to measure the pictures they took of the sky, or the X-rays, or whatever it is that you want to call it. Do your research into the Berkeley experiments. There was collaborations there as well. All the links are there below on the video on my channel. But he just mentioned really quickly, I'm just going to slow it back for 1 second. These pictures right here, these 3 squares, I had shared this image years ago, and I tried my darndest. And, another simulation realization was the fact that I almost willed this video into existence before that I had made it, because I found it out and I didn't understand it, and now I do. So the 3 images below here, you would have a concave or a spherical sky around us would blow the perspective of the temperatures out for regions that are around the curve or whatever the properties are. And this image on the far right is a concave image. So, and the image in the middle is a flat, perfectly symmetrical universe. It's flat and even. So, and this is the one that George is claiming is the truth. And
he's looked at the simulations, right?
He's created them, but I mean,
but once he's looked at all these simulations, and then he looked at the evidence, he instantly said it's a flat universe because he's already seen it so many times, and then he saw the evidence, and it was like boom.
There's
right?
there's absolutely no denying it, because it's clear. If the universe was shaped like this, it would look like this. This is a physical, unfalsifiable proof that we live not only on a flat Earth, in a flat universe, inside of a simulation. This is the smoking gun, the whistleblower. Okay, Jay, are you with me? This is a guy that works, he's a professor at Berkeley, right? University, which is highly touted as a very intellectual place, artistically, creativity. I know that all colleges get the bad rap. It is what you want to get out of it. You can always persuade a devil to, teach you things because that's what they want, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
But they actually did run experiments that we could do ourselves too. We could double check it, right?
He said he's got simulations that he can actually simulate us, along his timeline. Yeah, and people, you can look. I'll put a link below as well here. There's these simple algorithms that you can run yourself. It's pretty cool. I've tried it out. I like it. And as the squares on the screen move, their algorithm has a set pattern that only allow it to create more. And by running this pattern, you can almost come up with the same colors that we see on the screen here. And and it's done through a digital coding system, right? Should I keep going? We're almost through it. If you had to add anything, you could just jump in.
I got something, but it's a little bit off this topic, so let's wrap this up.
Okay.
An expanding universe, which is a little trickier, or if it's open, you have the other thing. So I have this nice video. This tells you the same pattern on the sky does this, but here's a nice little video that WMAP paid for that does it. So we're out in the universe. We're going to put out our imaginary physics grid lines. There's the pattern in the real universe, and if we assume the universe is flat, light's going to travel in straight lines, and we'll see a nice picture. It looks just like the universe, right? But if the universe is closed, light gets bent towards us, and things get magnified and look bigger. And if the universe is open, things get pulled in, and therefore they look to be at smaller angles. And so if you've seen enough of these simulations, and you see a map that looks just like this, both in terms of the spot sizes, but also in terms of the actual levels. Here, these are made to look to be the same levels. The levels change a little bit in those situations. That's how you can begin to recognize the universe is close to flat. So I don't say it's exactly flat, but it's really close to flat. And so that's interesting. That's an example of what you can learn. You can do the same thing for how much ordinary matter is, how much dark matter is. You can compare it to the actual observations, or you can compare it to the power spectrum. You get some results. So something like that. But the trick you can use is, if there's a carpet and the carpet's not perfect, it will have some ripples in it. And if there's a ripple that's way longer than what you think the cell size is, then you're wrong. The cell size is bigger, right? So we have ripples, right, in the universe. And so you can do it from the galaxy surveys, you can do it from the cosmic microwave background. So that's one way. So, but that still could be outside of horizon, and we haven't got the data yet, right? I mean, you don't know the dragons could be out there. And so we don't know that. But the other is, if you actually look at making the universe, there are different approaches that people have of creating a universe from nothing or from almost nothing or from some other kind of universe and letting our part off. And many of those want a universe that's open, which in principle should be infinite. Many of those want a universe that's closed. Some of them do. But if the dark energy stays the wrong kind, you can actually be a closed universe but expand forever and eventually become infinite. So we don't know the answer to that question. We know that it's still a question. If the universe were really closed, we'd know the answer. If the universe were really open, we'd know the answer that it was infinite. We have, well, within reason, inside of the region where we look for dragons. I'm running out of time. I should have gone faster. I got confident. Difficulty with complex decision and keeping on time, and the ability to function in a prehistoric world, which was the important one. You know, only a few percent of the humans got wiped out before they were able to reproduce. Okay? So simulations are going to make the same kind or similar approximates. You know, so we have many contradictions. We could see if our physics is inconsistent, then it's likely we're in a simulation. If physics is self-consistent, it's more likely we're real, because it just takes more to do that. So then one of the implications is, if we are in a simulated environment, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to have we're going to be discretized, that is fuzzy on small scale. We're going to have entangled states, means quantum mechanics. We have the holographic principle, that everything inside of a given volume is encoded on the surface. So here's an example, right? The hand and the apple are encoded on a two-dimensional sheet, but projected into 3 dimensions. That's a way to keep track of everything. And the large scale in space and time may not match the small scale. So let me finish up. Human beings are ill-equipped for determined reality. Physics, so this is actually a selling thing for physics, is a fundamental test of our realness. Currently we have contradictions. Is that because we're not good at resolving things, or is it because we're in a simulation? So logic is not going to be enough. You guys are going to be simulation deniers. Right? I mean, there's just no way around it. So my actual goal will be to actually create a sliver of doubt in your minds so that you actually think about this and what it might mean. Is that because we're not good at resolving things, or is it because we're in a simulation, right? And what would that mean? Thank you.
Can't you see? Up to you, Jay. Yeah.
There, brother?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
Can't you see? It's reality. Simulation inside. It's really hard to sing the word simulation, everyone at home. You know what? I will shout out in the comments below if anyone could come up with a lyric with the word simulation or realization in it. I would love to see it.
I'm gonna work on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're involved in the challenge too. This goes for everybody. So okay, what are your thoughts? What do you have?
I think anybody that can look at evidence and present examples of why we should be looking into that we're in a simulation, I'm all for it. Like everybody has got sort of different trigger. So some people, it's going to be seeing the clouds behind the sun, and that'll be the trigger. For other people, maybe, the flat universe. There's a lot of different ways to come to the realization that we're in a simulation. And, flat Earth is just one of the ways. Mandela's another. There's plenty of ways you can come to it. First came to it through non-dualistic studies is how I came to it. So there's different paths. Up real quick, I was watching the chat. We had somebody show up in the chat that mentioned that it sounded like they had seen a 24-hour sun. Oh, Wanda O'Reilly. And so we say that there is no 24-hour sun in the north or the south. There's only two people that heard of that have said that they've seen it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not Wanda said.
You're breaking up a bit there, Jay.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds a bit clear. I do believe that I know Wanda. Hi, Wanda. She's one. I believe a Facebook proponent, flat earther. Good for you. Spread the gospel. The spread the truth as well. So I contacted a group of scientists that were young that shot balloons up into the sky that are 100 miles north of the Arctic Circle in Europe, and they had zero. And they're professional photographers and video makers that shoot balloons and launch things into the upper sky. So if Wanda
they sell stuff from that too, right?
Oh yeah, that you can launch reindeers and whatever you want. They'll launch it up in a snow globe. But the only thing they won't do is take a picture of the sun once an hour for 5 days when the sun is supposedly circling for 50 days. If Wanda, did she provide a link, Jay?
No, that's what I wanted to say is like we're saying that there's no 24-hour sun in the Arctic or the Antarctic because we cannot find true footage of that anywhere. The only thing that we've come across is CGI or edited videos. So we really do want to see true, real footage to see if this exists. And to just say it, to me, is nothing but hearsay. I don't give it any credence. If you have evidence of it, it should be simple. There should be millions of people that have this evidence if it actually happens, right?
Without a doubt. It just baffles me to no end because, like I just mentioned, I even contacted scientists that are hip and cool and got Facebooks, and no one has any time lapse or video or pictures of a sun that doesn't set. And we've exhaustively gone over it. I've done podcasts for hours where the video states, I'll put the link below, the sun that never sets, and they have a video of the sun setting. So
exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just wanted to address that quick. It's something that we're sticking our necks out a little bit, saying such a thing because we've all been taught that there is such a thing. But this is one of the things that you do as a researcher is you look for the evidence, and if it's not there, you got to be skeptical. I mean, you're the event skeptic, and
you dig. How does the song go? I could. Okay, man, go ahead.
on that note, is fantastic. I know we're pushing hour and 45 minutes. Can you take us out with a tune?
Sure, I could do something with no guitar or no singing and just end it like that.
Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody that showed up. And I want to thank all those that listen to this in the future for watching it. And we want to hear from you. Please subscribe to me on my new channel, Jason Laufenberg. Please understand that there's a new channel out there. It's called The Truth About Everything. It's not going to have any content on it until Ronnie and I are involved. It has to start. Other people have to be involved in order for content to go up on that channel. So please get involved, help that channel get off the ground. And make sure you're subscribed to Ronnie of Event Skeptic. And let's hear some music, brother.
All right, I'll play it out. Yeah, I'll just play something with no vocals. I guess just we'll mute and I'll play it. And here we go. God bless.